Zipangu, was it good? Was it worth the money? And should it come back? Let me be completely transparent and say that I got free tickets for myself and to do a giveaway. Despite that though, I'm still gonna try to be as honest and non-biased as possible. Something that I noticed about Zipangu was that people had really mixed feelings about it. I even ran a poll about it on my Instagram, and as you guys could see, the results are kind of everywhere. We are here at Zipangu, and guys, it is massive. Like, this is a pretty massive event. It's not as crowded as I anticipated it to be. Like, I thought it was gonna be super crowded, but actually it's pretty spacious. The turnout seems to be pretty good. I'm not sure if like it was supposed to be more crowded in this or not, but you know, it's really, really spacious.
Okay, it's so big. Sucks like you can't be here.
Now, let's talk about the good. The good part about Zipangu is that objectively, from a concert quality perspective, it was insanely good. The audio was really well handled. All the performance sounded amazing. The reason I bring up sound is because my favorite concert of all time is Matsuri Fest, but unfortunately for that concert, the audio was kind of spotty at times. For the auto set, it definitely wasn't the best. At Zipangu though, the sound was crisp, the stage and the cameras did a top tier job of showcasing artists in high video quality, and even more, they had these really awesome drone shots that they had throughout the night. It was an insanely high quality production, and I throw my hats off to them. Another amazing thing was the venue. It was relatively clean. It's my first time there, and I'll tell you this, the sunsets there were breathtaking, and it was truly a great vibe.
So I'm coming back, and I decided not to pay for an Uber because I think an Uber right now would have cost me like 26 bucks for a 6-minute drive, which is right now currently a 45-minute walk. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna take the 45-minute walk. Screw it, you know, I'm kind of fat, so it kind of works out. But yeah, dude, Zipangu overall was a great event. It sucks that for me, at least for me, the people around me were just super obnoxious, man. Kept yanting, one piece, like every 5 seconds. Some tall dude kept friggin' blowing smoke in my face with his little vape, and I'm like, oh my god, bro, like I thought vapes were out of style, right? But yeah, this dude was the most irritating person around. It didn't help that he was tall. I mean, if you're tall, it's a genetic thing, right? You can't help it. If you're a tall person, don't try to like be more obnoxious, because it only makes you stand out more. And this dude kept recording the auto concert, even though they told him constantly not to do it. And I was like, I could say something, but I didn't want to get involved.
Now it's time to talk about the parts that people were heavily critical about, which was lining up before the concert and the merch line. Like I mentioned before, I was late to the concert, so what I state now is the general consensus and comments that I've seen people comment about Zipangu, especially on Reels. So the biggest complaint that I saw people have was that they missed 1 to 2 sets of the show despite arriving 30 to 40 minutes early. And if you guys saw how little time Zipangu gave itself to, you know, let in 35,000 people into the venue, I mean, it was evident that they were not going to get people in time. And honestly, that was a very reckless move that evidently dominoed throughout the evening, as people kept, you know, complaining that they keep missing shows and they're taking forever to get in. That in itself was a mess. There was even claims that those in VIP missed a couple sets despite coming on time, which if you guys saw the price tag for VIP, there is no reason, there is no excuse that none of these people who paid those tickets should have had to experience. Now, before you guys, you know, get really angry at Zipangu, I will say this. I don't think this is Zipangu's fault, but rather the venues, because usually, you know, the venue is the one in charge of the check-in process, and they're the ones, you know, who have the final say as to what time the show could start. So I wouldn't really get too mad at Zipangu for this. Speaking of waiting, this brings us to another flaw of the event, which was the merch line. Now, from my understanding, people literally spent 70% of the concert waiting for merch, which is crazy. I don't know why people would wait that long. I would have just dipped, but that's just me. Based on what I've seen at events in the past like 4 to 5 years, this situation is nothing new. You saw this at the Hall Live at Dodgers, the Auto Store in LA, and let's just be completely honest, this is something that's not new. And for some reason, companies always have this little lemonade stand setups, you know, ready to sell to like thousands of fans. I'm not sure why they do it. They don't know. I'm not sure why they can't get a more efficient system, but truly this is kind of just the way it is. Merch lines will always be war, and the only answer to securing merch on a reasonable time is to get there about 6 hours early. That's just unfortunately the way these things go. I will put Zipangu on the spot for this one only because they have their own festival, and again, they probably could have done a better job. Recently, I got invited to the first official Hige Danism event that they've had in the United States. Super honored. As you guys can see, they invited some really big names here, a lot of big content creators. For those who don't know who they are, they made iconic opening songs such as the one for Tokyo Revengers, Spy Family, and Blue Logs. My recommendation is listen to Pretender and Yesterday. They're absolutely beauty of songs and definitely underrated here in the West.
Now, one thing that I completely noticed about Zipangu, and this is not on Zipangu, this is completely personal experiences, completely out of their control, but it was the people. I don't think I've ever been to an event where it was so badly, there was such a negative influence among people. It just attracted a bad crowd. I've been to a lot of Japanese concerts, I've been to a lot of events, and I don't think I've ever met so many disrespectful people at a concert, right? So keep in mind, you're not allowed to record Man on a Mission and Ado. Like, those are two things you weren't allowed to do. And so many people ignored that rule. And the amount of people who were vaping at the concert, blowing wind at people and even at kids, I thought that wasn't right either. I thought that was really messed up.
Overall, I understand the mixed sentiment towards Zipangu. I think when people need to view this event, they need to view it as two different organizers instead of one. For example, there's Zipangu and venue and staff. Venue and staff obviously did a terrible job of being in charge of check-ins and logistics, but that's on the venue, not on Zipangu. Zipangu as a whole was mainly in charge of performers, lineups, marketing, merch stand, guests, and booths. Zipangu itself did an amazing job putting a high quality show, therefore as a music event, I think it was a huge success. Where Zipangu really needs to work on in the future is its merch line, and I also would argue its lineups. Don't get me wrong, the lineups are great, but I think that diversity in genres was its biggest weakness, as much as I hate to admit. While Japanese is having a huge boom here in the United States, the main crowd that loves Japanese music is anime fans. Not saying that you gotta appease anime fans or you bring artists here to Zipangu's future events. Baby Metal is an example that you don't need it. However, you do need artists that dabble around the anime fandom to some degree if you want to draw huge crowds. I don't think Japanese music is on the level to stand on its own without anime fan interest. Also, huge tip, don't host an Zipangu to compete with EDC, because not all EDM fans are anime fans, but almost every anime fan is an EDM fan. With that, did you like Zipangu? Would you ever go again? Let me know down in the comments.